Okay, so welcome to the JavaScript algorithm training camp. So here's another question, algorithm question, which is called the addBorder problem. So essentially, given a rectangular matrix of characters, so for example, as you can see represented by an array here, so the first row would have ABC, the second row would have DED. The function that we're going to create addBorder, once the picture is passed in, defined by this array, it's actually going to add some padding to it. So the padding is the border. So in the first row, it's going to add padded with asterisks. The last row is going to have padded with asterisks, and each of the rows in the picture is going to add prepend and append an asterisk. So this is a little bit more clear when we actually draw this out. Okay, so the picture is represented by an array, and as you can see, there are some key assumptions that are built into the question. The first assumption is that the array contains a rectangular matrix. In other words, the length of this string and this string is always going to be the same. Like it can't be A, B, C, D, and then just have a random like D, E, and then end. That's not a full rectangular matrix. So that is our first assumption. And then there are a few assumptions regarding the actual inputs. So the row is, it's less than or equal to 100, columns less than or equal to 100. Also in the problem set states that, the minimum length is 1. So this one array with the A character would symbolize or would represent the minimum input case. So in this case, we would add a border, 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 border. So what does that actually look? So given this matrix here, when you call the function, it's going to add these asterisk characters just around that picture frame, represented, like I said, in an array. So some of the key things that we can get out of this is that the length of the border is always going to be the length of the picture plus 2. Because we're padding each side with 1 asterisk from the total length of the picture, the length of the border then is going to follow, and it's going to always be plus 2. So furthermore, this is the approach that we will be taking. So once the addBorder function is called, it's going to create this array. We're going to represent it by an array. It's going to iterate, and the first row is going to be essentially the top border. Then we're going to add whatever the picture is here, but padded, prepended with an asterisk, and appended with an asterisk at the end. Same thing, we're gonna just loop through that picture. We're just gonna go down that picture, and at the end of the picture, we need to add another bottom border. So we're gonna do something very similar like what we did in the top border, but we're gonna add a bottom border here. So this will be the approach of this algorithm problem. Pretty straightforward. Let's get to coding. Okay, so here we have it. So we have the function. We have the addBorder function here, which is invoked with the actual picture. So I have the problem on the left here, so I can refer it whenever I need to. And then I have my terminal on the bottom here whenever I want to run the solution. So here we go. So let's actually comment what we're actually going to do. So here we're going to, there's a few steps we need to take, right? We need to calculate the total border length. So like we mentioned before, the border length is dependent on the size of, or the length of the picture that's passed in. So we'll get to that at some point. Then what we need to do is, like we mentioned in the approach, we're going to add the top border. So here, when this is passed in, first we're going to add the top border. Then we're going to loop through the picture and prepend append border. So at the start of the picture, or in the row, at the start of the character, we're going to prepend because we need to add that border. And at the end, we're going to append another asterisk to add that border. Which the sum total of that is going to be the same length as the top border that we added here. And at the end, we're going to add the bottom border. And that's essentially it. There's only 3 major steps that we're doing. So let's code this. I'm going to represent the final picture with an array. And there we have it. Furthermore, I'm going to calculate the border length here. So let's just define some sort of constant. Essentially, when this function runs, it's going to be a constant. The length of the border, let's just get the first row of the picture. Because we're assuming a rectangular matrix, we can do this. So the first row would represent any row in that picture in terms of the border length, or in terms of the length of the picture. So we get the length, and then we add 2. Like we said, we're prepending a star, and we're appending a star. So we add 2. So yeah, let's get to this. So add the top border. In order to add the top border, we're gonna push something, the top border, into the final picture array. And what this is it's gonna be an array of stars, array of asterisk characters. Let's define the length of the actual array. So it's gonna create, in this case, 5. Gonna create an array of 5, and then we're going to just fill this. JS has a nice function called fill, which is gonna fill every array element with the same character. So I'm just gonna fill it with stars. Once we do that, as you can see, the final output here, what this would do, this new array, is actually create independent stars like this. Right? It's an array that's length of 5 with star character. But what I'm gonna do is join this with an empty string, so that the resulting output is going to be whatever we see right here. So let's do that. Once we fill that array, we're just going to join it by an empty string. Just so we can see it. So yeah, at this point, we added the top border. And let's just console log it just to verify. So in terms of development, you know, this is what I would actually be doing right here. So just console log. Let me print out this and just make sure that my top border is working correctly. So I go to my terminal down here. Let's see, let's run this. Cool, there we go. Okay, my final picture is indeed correct. It added the top border with a length that's +2 of the picture size. So I'm gonna actually return the final picture here. This is just giving an undefined because the addBorder right now is not returning anything. So let's just return the actual final picture. So remove this log. Let's move on. We're gonna loop through the picture now. So standard old school JS loop. Most of these algorithm questions, I will approach them first with just the old school JS approach, none of the new ES6 stuff. But also, you know, I think further down the line, I'll create another series and solve the exact same problem using ES6, just to show you how concise ES6 can make some of these algorithm problems. But that's for another day. Let's keep at this for now. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna loop through each picture. So we're gonna loop through this row first. And what we're gonna do there is we're going to push it into our final picture, but we need to prepend, right, with a star and the actual word, or the actual picture, and we're gonna append it with the star. Now that's essentially it. So this is gonna literally loop through every single row of that picture. It's gonna add the stars, and move on to the next one. Add the stars, add it to add final picture, and then move on to the next one. At this point, we're gonna have everything without the bottom border. So all we need to do here is just literally do the same thing here. add this to this. So that will add the final border. And that's it. So the key functions here, push, right? We push it to the end of the array. Fill, array construction here. We create the array, and then fill function, and then the join function. So that's all you really need to do in order to solve this problem. So let's run this and see if this actually works. There we go. You see that indeed that this is the correct solution. So given this array, we get star 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 5 stars, star 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 dd, and then the final bottom border. So let's just test this with anything, right? We can just literally validate all this and see if it works. Just mess with the parameters. Okay, this is correct too. It added 3, the top border with the length of 3. You know, prepend append. Let's do the minimum use case, right? Where it's literally a single character. Let's see if that works. Cool, looks like it worked. Top border, bottom border, and then the picture. Prepend append. So this is the solution for the addBorder problem. And this is pretty straightforward. The only thing I think that's subtle is remember to join here. Because the array itself wouldn't give you the right result. It would just give you 5 array entries with a single string in each of the array elements. And just pushing in order, in sequence, right here, and then returning the final picture. Okay, hope that helps. That was relatively straightforward, but you know, these are fun, so we will continue to upload these JavaScript algorithm questions and train on. Thank you for tuning in. See you guys soon. Alright, if you guys enjoyed that video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Like, comment, and subscribe. Like, comment, and subscribe. Wait, how come am I doing this? Like, comment, and subscribe. Like, comment. Okay, I'm done.